Hello, my name is Will Aderman, and in this speech, I will be trying to persuade you to try to train your dog and make sure your dog is very well trained. So, for starters, this is my dog, Daisy May, and she is a Chow Lab mix, and she should be properly trained due to the ways I discuss in this video. So she is able to do many different things, not just basic commands, but she can do cool tricks like high five, good girl. And she can do many things when we go for walks and just trying to cause less of a problem as she can. So for starters, having a trained dog is extremely important because if you don't have a trained dog, it can cause many problems. Like, have you ever thought about how many kids or like any family pets are attacked by dogs each year? Because you wouldn't think it's much because dogs have such a little friendly, cute little face, right? But it's actually quite a lot. It's roughly 4.5 million dogs are involved in fatal attacks around America, which means that you are more. Calm down. It means that you are more likely to get in a fatal attack by a dog, a house dog, than you are by a shark. Now, there are many different types of trainings you should do with your dog, and some of those may do with leash trainings, potty training, yard training, and if you want, you can do fun tricks like shake and roll over, like I described in the beginning. So to start off with leash tricks are very important if you like to take your dog on walks and runs every day. You like to use leashes to train the dog, and a vest if you're like taking the dog out. A vest is more important for the dog's overall health because it's more comfortable for the dog and you have more overall control over the dog. But you need to use a leash when training the dog because if you have a leash, you can take it and yank back if a dog is trying to do something, and you typically associate it with a word like heel is a very common one, or no. Make sure it is a very simple word and a short syllable, so dogs can understand it better. Now, this may vary depending on the breed of your dog. Like if you have a Chihuahua, Chihuahuas are not the smartest dogs because they have such a small brain, so you may need a little bit more work. And I'm sorry for that. She's pushing the camera. So the other one is potty training. Potty training is important because if you do take them for walks and through parks and public area, you don't want your dog necessarily going to the bathroom on someone else's yard. It will cause a very big problem, not just between you and the person that it's doing it, because if the dog goes to the bathroom, it is marking its territory. And if that person has a dog, it may spark a mini gang war almost between the dogs. Yard training is an important one, not just for the dog, but mostly for you, right? If you really like your dog and you don't want anything bad to happen to him, I recommend you do this like really early on, like as soon as you get them, because if they run out on the road and someone hits them, then I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. That it's a cruel world, and it is a very common death by dogs, with I think 2 million of them dying a year at least due to accidents on roads. And one way you can help prevent this is by using a shock collar, which is what we use for Daisy. And you set up a boundary and it just gives them a little bit zap, and most of the time it beeps really loud. And because they have special hearing and their brains work based on noises like clicks and rings, it will beep, and when she hears the beep, she knows she's not supposed to keep going in that direction and she'll stay away from roads. It is very helpful, but Daisy is really smart and she knows if she doesn't have it on, she can go wherever she wants. So it's a little bit tricky, but she gets it. Another thing is, another problem or big problems that happen with untrained dogs is you don't want your dog running around everywhere. You want your dog to be you want to be in control of your dog if you go somewhere with the dog, because not a very thought of reason is because of allergies. About 3 out of every 10 people are allergic to dogs, and you don't want your dog running around shedding hair everywhere. unless it is a hypoallergenic dog, which is like poodles and other dogs that don't shed. But you still want those in control because you don't want them going up and threatening other dogs, which is another big problem because dogs are very territorial and they may get very upset with another dog's presence. Come here. Come here, sit. See, your dog should listen to you, kind of like that. They need to know, dogs work based on a pack system, which means that you are almost like the master. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's the best way to describe it. And then dogs attacking children could be a problem. Depending on the breed, Daisy is a Chow Lab mix, and Chows can be a problem, which you can see with her when you play with her. She gets a little bit snippy at the legs, but that's just kind of within their breed. So if you get a, like, Pit Bull, for example, Pit Bulls are naturally very nice dogs, despite what people may think. They're only later bred to be, or trained to be kind of aggressive because they seem intimidating, so people raise them on a more intimidating basis. Daisy right here could not hurt a fly. She may act tough and bark at squirrels, but she is a softie, right? Despite her having a Lab and Chow mix. For tools, you could use many different tools to train your dog, such as a shock collar, a regular pull leash that are retractable, and a clicker. Clickers are really important because they make noises, like I described earlier. Dogs listen based on and rings. So the clicker is like a car key almost, like a little fob, and you click it and it goes click, and and it will make noise, and the dog will know what it's doing is good and bad. And doing all of these things will help make the dog more sociable, more friendly around other people, and overall just a more timid, calm dog. Because dog accidents are not a very fun thing. And if you follow the rules or the instructions in this speech, you will most likely be able to train your dog very well and hopefully have no accidents related to the dog, because we have had Daisy for, I would say, a year and a half now, and we've done the exact same trainings that I've explained in the speech, and we have had no accidents with her. So, the main important rules are to train a dog. For one, you got to be patient. Two, you got to make sure that you're in charge. You can't let the dog push you around. Make sure to use tools like shock collars, if necessary. They're very useful. And make sure to reward your dog's good behavior with treats like this. It's really simple. Just make sure you get your dog on a basis where they don't rough other dogs up or aren't very aggressive. And if they are showing aggressive, just, don't bring them around other kids. And that can vary based on the breeds of dogs. But, yeah.